Hello, good evening. This is Cassie, and we are going live with day 3 of the Crafter's Companion Advent Calendar for 2018. So, got everything ready to go. I got my Gemini Go started up, and it's ready. And I was going to do a quick recap. So, day 1, I had these cute little flowers, and we made a wedding card. And then day 2, which was yesterday, we had Party, and I did a little ATC card. So now I'm gonna put these guys away and we will get started with day 3. One moment, I want to see if I can watch for comments as we go, in case anybody joins me tonight and wants to make a comment. I can hopefully answer while we're doing it, learning the YouTube live as I go. So here we go. So also, if you're enjoying this and you want to keep watching them every day, please subscribe to my channel and also hit the little bell so you can get notifications. Please like my videos, maybe leave a comment if you have any comments or suggestions or ideas or questions. Really would love to hear them. Super excited about doing this. Okay, so let's get to it. Here's day 3. Here we go. It's super tiny, so I'm very curious to see what could possibly be in this tiny little window. Okay, this is like the most fun part because it's such a fun surprise, and I've been waiting a month to do this. So here we go. All right, looks like maybe another word is in here, which is pretty cool. You can never have too many words. All right, I'm gonna have to flip it around here. They really got them in here nice and tight. I know. I'm gonna use my little picker. Am I still in the shot here? Okay, let's see what we get. Oops. I didn't quite open it all the way. Here we go. Okay, let's see. What does it say? Father. Well, that's very interesting, actually, because I was thinking, I wonder, I want to make something masculine, but of course I don't know what I'm going to get. So father is pretty masculine. So that's pretty cool. Let's do something with this. All right. So day 3 is father. Excellent. All right. So now I have to think about what I want to make. I think I'm going to do a tag, and we are going to make it super fun and masculine. Okay, so let me start getting some supplies out. I think when I think about masculine, I think of the creative medium in bronze. This is a really fantastic medium to use. It's from Imagine. I'm gonna put this guy here so I don't lose him. I really want to make a tag. Tags are super versatile, right? So we could use it on top of a card, or in, if you do scrapbooking, you could use it in a layout. You could put it on the gift and just have it be the card, instead of a card. You just give them a tag. And then a lot of times too, when I give tags, as long as they're not two-dimensional, they could use them as bookmarks if they're readers, or, all sorts of things. So we're going to work with that. Okay. Ooh, I know what I want to do. Okay, there's a really fun technique that I did last year for Imagine that that I think I would really like to do right now because it looks super awesome. And I haven't actually got to make a video combining the two techniques that I like to do. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use walnut crystal. Walnut ink crystals, and this is from Imagine as well. And then we are going to use, so this is going to be like a bronzy brown goldish kind of tag. So very, very manly. Okay. And then we've got firework spray and desert sand. Yes, this is going to be great. Okay. And then I think I'm going to use this word in a non-traditional way. And here's what I mean. I'm going to cut this out a bunch of times, and I'm going to put it randomly all over this background to use this as a background. What do you think about that? Yes, I think that is a fantastic idea. Well, thank you, Cassie. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now I need to cut it out of paper. I'm just gonna do, let's see. Do I want it thicker or a little bit thinner? I'm thinking we're gonna do, this is thicker paper. That just means it will stand out more. I think it'll be okay. So I have a couple different kinds of paper. I've got Nina Solar White, the super thick. I think it's like 110 pound or something like that. The cover paper. Or I have this other one that's Hammermill that a lot of people use for Copics, for coloring. And a friend of mine suggested it for coloring Copics, and it's got the frog on the cover of the Hammermill paper, and it's not as thick, but it's still nice and sturdy. It's a nice, good, smooth white. We're gonna grunge it up anyway, so that doesn't matter, but that way I think this will be better because I can go through a couple layers at a time, because I want a bunch of these to make this background. So let's start cutting. Actually, I'll just use my cutter real quick and cut a bunch of strips. Let's see how big they need to be. So to put it through the Gemini Go, it needs to be narrower or no bigger than 3 inches wide. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to make a couple, well, yeah, 1 strip should be good. 3 inches wide. And then I'm just going to cut it in half so I can cut 2 at a time. So that sounds good to me. So we'll fold it in half real quick and just give it a good cut here. Okay, and then we're going to test something out because I think I didn't do my sandwich right yesterday when I was trying to cut multiple sheets of a thicker cardstock. This should be able to definitely cut 2 sheets of this because it's super strong and durable. So I'm going to put this metal plate on top and let's see if that makes a difference. We're just going to experiment here a little bit. Okay, so we're going to put Father kind of, well, let's see. Let's put them up here. And I'm going to try 2 sheets of paper. Okay, this isn't quite as thick as that pretty, you know, foiled mirrored paper that we were using the last 2 days. So it really shouldn't have a problem. But we're also going to use this metal shim on top. I think that's going to help cut it better. I don't know. I could be making that up. Totally making that up in my head. Okay, we'll see. Let's find out together. So here's my Gemini Go. If you don't know about Gemini, you can watch one of my previous videos and I talk more about why I'm using this and the great features of it. But so here we go, Gemini Go. This is the smallest version of them. It cuts 3 inch wide. And it's really cool because it can go through lots of layers at one time. It's pretty strong. And I like having this little one on my table because it doesn't take up as much space, you know. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's hope for the best. Ooh, look at that. I think it punched through a little bit. Interesting. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Look at that. Nice. Wow, okay. I mean, I'm being careful because I don't want to rip any of this because it's pretty thin, but I'm telling you, that's like butter right there. If you wanted, you know, other people will layer their dies together and make like 2 or 3 or 4 layers to make them thicker when you're putting them on your final piece. You could do it with this and cut them all at one time. Wow. These are, I mean, if I wanted, these could stay together pretty easily. That's awesome. Okay, but we're not going to do that because we want a bunch of pieces. So I'm going to carefully, wow, they really stuck together. That's impressive. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to, you're going to have to bear with me here and sit with me while I cut a bunch of these out. Let's see how many we're going to need. I'm saying at least like, you know, 10 or 15. We'll do them quick, 2 at a time. I think 2 is a good number, and I think that okay, let's move it over to the side because I want to get as much out of this paper as I can. I think this metal shim helped out too, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's just cut a few more. Go get a glass of wine, whatever you want to do. I think I want them to be, you know, like sideways and upside down and straight and just kind of all over the place. And then I have a really awesome stencil. This is going to be fun. I'm so excited about this one. Every day I'm like, oh, what am I going to get? I'm nervous I'm not going to be able to think of something to do, and then it just comes to me, so that's nice. I have to say this going live is super fun. I'm really enjoying it. Okay. Cut out some more father, and then when I run the next one through, I'm going to grab the stencil I'm going to use with that bronze creative medium. I think you're really going to like it. It's really pretty. It's masculine, but it's, man, it's like really rich color. It's completely gorgeous. Another one, if you don't have, I recommend getting it. You know, we don't always make or have as many, man, I don't want to rip this, as many masculine supplies, you know, because just the market's flooded with girl stuff. And I mean, because mostly women making stuff, right? But we need to make stuff for men too. So it's nice when I like to get lots of masculine things when I find them, so that I have a good selection, because there aren't as many of those available. So definitely this bronze, and you know, it's not just for men, not just a masculine thing. Definitely could use it really on anything, but it really lends itself well to masculine themed projects. Okay, so there, I think that's going to be okay. Oh, nope, I see it poking through a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm loving this metal shim here. I'm going to keep using that. Remember to use that in the future. Let me grab my stencil real quick while that's running through. If you saw my ATC cards a while back, I used the same stencil and embossing, or I'm sorry, creative medium, but man, it looks really cool. So I think I'm just going to do it again. Why not? Give me 1 second here. I'm looking for that, that stencil. I know, I just saw it the other day. Here it is. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's a Tim Holtz one, and look at that. It's like, it's almost like screw and nail heads, you know? It's pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to use that. Oops, I got my next one ready. We'll run it through a couple more times. And then we'll start working on the background. And actually, the next time I run it through, I'm gonna gesso that tag. Yesterday I talked about, was it yesterday? Yeah. Yesterday I talked about gesso and why it's important, and I'm not necessarily going to repeat myself all the time. You can go back and watch the videos, and then of course always ask me questions if you still aren't sure, if you have more questions about it, or if I'm not clear. But anyway, so I almost always use gesso on all my projects just to give us a good starting point. So we'll be doing that today. I think because of the technique that I'm going to do, I'm going to use white as my base. But yeah, maybe in a future, maybe I'll plan a future project to use black, because I know a lot of people are afraid of black, but black is so amazing also. So just depends on what you're doing. Okay, let's run this guy through again. Get the white gesso out. There we go. This one is Daler Rowney. It's just generic gesso. It's a pretty good one. I did say I don't like super cheap gesso yesterday, only because it doesn't necessarily do the job it's supposed to do very well, I found. So you want to get a known brand, at least, of gesso. That would be my tip. It's definitely worth it to spend just even a little bit more. If you find gesso that's like really super cheap and you think, wow, that's super cheap, that's too good to be true, it probably is. Just being honest. So yeah, get a brand you know. Golden Liquitex is fine. Daler Rowney is a good one. Deco Art, you know, Prima and Finavera and all those, and yeah, even the Ranger ones are good. You know, all those name brands are fine. They all work fantastic, and they're pretty similar. Some are thicker than others, some are thinner than others, so it kind of depends on, you know, what you like. It's just really a preference more at that point. Okay, a couple more fathers. I'm going to gesso this real quick. Put those guys over there, and I like to work on one of these kind of surfaces so I don't mess up my mat even more, because Lord knows it's already pretty messy. So for this, I'm just, you know, I'm just covering the background, so I just put the paint right on it, and then brush it across. Uh-oh. This brush feels a little stiff. I think we'll be fine. Feels like I got a little too much, but that's okay. I think actually, yeah, I did get too much. I'm going to do another. Sometimes I like to just cover a bunch of tags all at once and let them sit and dry, and then put them away in my tag bin, so that when I'm ready to make something, it's already ready to go. You know, since I'm gessoing pretty much every time anyway, and so I'll do some in black and some in white, just so I have a variety, and then I'm ready to go when I want to use it. Sometimes if I'm not feeling super creative, or I'm feeling like I'm in a rut, but I still want to have a paintbrush in my hand or be in my space, you know, sometimes that's the most important thing, is just being in your space and letting it sort of tell you what you should be doing. That's when I do stuff like that. You know, I'll just get the paintbrush out and get some gesso out and some tags and just do this. And then sometimes I get inspired, you know, it's like, oh, now I've got a bunch of tags. Why don't I just play and make something? And, you know, sometimes something happens. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's garbage, or it's just play and it's not for anything and it's nothing special. And both of those outcomes are perfectly okay. Okay, so we're going to let that dry for a second. Cut a couple more of fathers. Make sure I'm still in the screen here. Okay. All right, now I'm going to get paint everywhere, which is also okay. All right. I think after this I'll run it through one more time. And then I think we'll probably have enough fathers. This is a pretty font too. This would be, you know, obviously good for Father's Day, or a birthday or something like that, or a new dad, a new father. All right. It's always good to have these staple words that you can use for many occasions. It can be someone else's father, whatever. Anyway, you got it. You understand. Okay, here we go. One more time. Move this down. And there we go. This will be the last one. Put it through this way. I'm going to zap this dry real quick. And I don't care that it's not completely white. That part doesn't really matter. It just needs to be gessoed so we can work on top of it. Okay, really awesome, other awesome thing about gesso is that it dries super fast. So you don't have to wait too long to keep going with your project. Okay, last father. Here we go. Put this guy, I do not want to lose him. I'm going to put him on top of the Gemini. There we go. He's so little. I'm afraid I'll lose him in all my mess here. Okay. I don't know how many fathers we have, but, well, yeah, I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 12. That's a good number. That works for me. Okay. All right. Get all of these back here. So let's see. I think what I want to do is put them down, and then, so actually I am going to use gesso again and do another layer of gesso because it will hold these words down. and then I'll cover the words as well. Gesso can work as an adhesive in some situations. I wouldn't make that a I wouldn't make that a blanket statement and say that you can do it all the time. I mean, it will stick things down. It's not certainly made to be an adhesive, but it will work. So in this case, you know, we've got this intricate word here, and really it's just going to be the background, so we don't really care about how perfect or not it is. But so in this case, it can be used as an adhesive, but I wouldn't just use it as an adhesive all the time, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so upside down and sideways, and I just want to get a general sense of where these are going to go. I think I want some even like half off. You don't want to have things just completely contained, right, in your frame. Having things off the frame too, it helps. I'm trying to think about how to explain that. You know, yesterday I talked about tension a little bit. It does help provide some tension. And it lets your eyes sort of finish, and your brain sort of finish it. You know, there's that, what is that called? Forget the name of that. I can't think of it right now either. Okay, let's do this way. Do I want them to be straight? Do I want to do diagonal like that? Yeah, that's fun too. Why not? Okay, that looks pretty good. And then we can even like take that's going to be off the end, right? So that we can use the other part of this guy to be like this, maybe. I like it. This is going to be so cool. Super excited. I love when a plan just kind of comes together without really trying. Okay, so there we go. Pretty happy. I think maybe I do want these to be like straight up and down and sideways, not at an angle like that. I think I do. Okay. All right, one second. Okay, so I'm happy with this. Let's get this one more guy here. Whoops, fat. I don't think we want that. This has got to be off the... I want that to be there. That's okay. We'll put this one here. I'm just taking that A right off because that's just weird. Okay. Okay, cool. So now we're going to get the gesso back out, and I'm going to put some in a little plate or something here. I've got this plate that I've used 100 times. And I'm just going to put a little bit on here because I want to use it to stick down these fathers and then to cover them up too, right? So that we have them on there good, and that they're gessoed so that we can cover them with the awesome pigments we're going to use. Okay, here we go. So I got my paintbrush back and really just going to cover the space, lay them down. Whoops. Okay, that's how you're going to be. That's cool. I see how it is. There we go. That's awesome. Yeah, and these really in the end are just going to really just be kind of in the background. And you might see some of them and you might not see some of them. And that's okay because it's meant to be the background. Another thing that I just thought of that, you know, people say to me all the time, or I hear people say, maybe not necessarily to me, but when people are creating something mixed media and it's layered and you know, so you start with one layer and then you cover something up that you just did that was super, maybe somebody really liked it and thought it was super pretty, and you're like, why are you covering that up? You just wasted that product or whatever. You're not wasting it. You're creating layers, and you wouldn't have whatever is on top without all those things underneath. Okay, and so sometimes you just have to let go and know that the finished piece is going to be awesome because you did all those layers. And maybe you're not going to see part of something, and you know what, if it's your project and there's a piece an area that you're like, ooh, that's amazing, then don't cover it up. You know, keep it visible. But don't be afraid to cover up things either, because you never know what it's going to create in the end, if that makes sense. Don't be afraid to cover things up. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So this process, I don't know, some people don't like to get their fingers dirty. I really don't mind. I kind of like it, actually. This process will get your fingers dirty for sure. So either wear gloves or just don't care. And I made a mess here already, so that's cool. So this is cool because we're doing two things at once, right? We're creating the background and gluing it down, and then also gessoing the words as we go. So that will be awesome. And like I said before, it dries really quickly. So these fathers keep sticking. So then we'll be able to move quickly on to the next steps, what I'm trying to say. All right, let's get these last couple guys down here. So at this point, it really becomes kind of like a texture and a shape more than a word, right? Which I think is pretty cool. Oops, that has to be like this only because it's part of the word, and I don't, yeah, I think it looks better that way. Okay, and we'll do this guy this way. I don't remember how I had it, but we can improvise. Here we go. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. Is this a good way to use this word? How would you have done it differently, maybe? I love to hear what other people would do with things and how all of our brains work just a little bit differently in our creative ways. It's pretty exciting, and I love to hear about what other people's ideas and thoughts are on things. So tell me in the comments, what would you do? How would you use father? Would you make a card? Would you make a tag? What would you do with it? You could even do like a little 3x3 like gift card kind of thing. Not gift card, but what am I trying to say? You know, for on top of a gift, like a little folded card, because this is such a small word. You definitely could do something like that. I thought about that for a minute, but then I was like, huh, this would be fun to use as a background. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that R. Actually, I'm gonna wait and cut it when it's dry. I think that'll be better. I'm picking up some of that pink, and I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna flip this around. Okay, that's better. Oh, somehow Darth Kitty got in here. My boyfriend has a cat, and her name is Darth Kitty, and she has absolutely earned that title. She wants to hang out with me. Okay. So there we go. I think we're good. I'm just going to let this dry so that the words don't move around too much. This is going to be an awesome background. Put this out of the way. Use my arm. Okay. I'm going to get a different one of these because this one isn't working for me at the moment. Maybe I'm going to get a clean one even. How about that? I have tons of these large sheets of paper. Ugh, yuck. Let's see here. Kitty, you should go upstairs. Okay, I got a clean sheet. We're gonna let this dry for 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I had to let the cat in the other room. Here we go. Let me zap this real quick. It'll dry in a jiffy. So then we can move on. So normally I would bring the stencil in next and put some creative medium on or whatever, the modeling paste or gel we're going to use, and then I would cover it with maybe some other pigment or ink sprays or something like that. But we're going to do things a little bit differently this time because I really want this bronze color to stand out in the end. So we're going to be stenciling last, actually. And I don't know what the focal point is going to be yet, but we will figure that out too. Okay, real quick, I'm going to cut off these ends. It's still the tiniest bit wet, and I really need it to be dry to do the next step, so we're going to just keep hitting it with the gun to make sure it's nice and dry. It won't take much longer. So the next step we're going to do, just to give you a heads up here, we're going to use the walnut crystals, and we're going to sprinkle just a little bit on top. And then we're going to use the desert sand fireworks spray and spray it a little bit and then let it sit, and you'll see the crystals kind of move around, and oh, it's so cool. It's like the coolest, one of the coolest backgrounds I've made. I absolutely love it. And then what we're going to do is take the amazing, hold on, let me get it out. Here we go. I have to get the big jug of this because I'm on my second jar already. Vintage Beeswax Baked Texture from Seth Apter and Emerald Creek. Probably one of the best embossing powders. I mean, there's lots of really great embossing powder, but this one I'm saying is one of the best because it's super versatile. It looks almost like encaustic, like finish when you're done. And it's kind of see-through, but it has an antique-y kind of look. It's going to go with this theme really well. So I'm super duper excited about that. I was thinking we might want to stamp through it too. So just a second. Let me see if I can find that stamp I'm thinking of. Ooh, maybe. Just a minute, just a minute. I'm coming. Okay, I'm gonna have to think on that for a second because I can't find the one I want. Ooh, maybe this will work. Okay, maybe one of these. I'm not sure. This looks like it's from Bo Bunny, but I don't know the name of the set. It's super old, and I just have it in my stash. But I like these dots, and I also really like this chicken wire, and this even. So I'm gonna keep this out. Maybe we're gonna use some of that. We'll see. Okay. We're going to keep going here. So now this is dry. Okay, so the next step is this, the walnut ink crystal and the desert sand. You can see I've done this so many times, my desert sand's almost gone. I'm going to have to get some more. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Set us up here nicely. You can see. Okay, yes, we're good. Okay, so now these walnut ink crystals are like going to last me a lifetime. I've done this so many times and I barely used anything. So you don't want a lot, okay? That is, if you trust my word at all in any of this, don't use a lot of ink crystals. I have the super tiniest amount, okay? Leave them where they are. Take the desert sand, okay? Fireworks spray, and just a light. Okay, a little bit more. You want to just cover your surface, but don't oversaturate. Okay, look, do you see? I'm going to lift this carefully because I don't want to mess it up. Look at what's happening. Let me stand up so I can see what you're seeing. Here we go. Look at what's starting to happen. Those little lines. Now, if you get it too wet, it's just going to kind of blend. It still looks cool, but you won't get as much of the lines. Okay, I might even add a little bit more crystal at this point. You just kind of have to play it by ear and see what's going to work. And the finer the crystal, the better, the more cool effects you get. This is super fun. So then, yep, just going to add a little bit more of this. And then, there we go. Yeah, that's pretty. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, I might even, this is the part where you can really do too much. I'm trying not to. I'm just adding a tiny bit of water. Okay, we're going to let it just kind of chill for a minute. You can also, yep, see? Ooh, that's so pretty. Okay, here we go. And then imagine this look with this embossing powder over top of it. It's going to be super cool. Just wait and see. And so see how the color is kind of going in the cracks of Father and kind of outlining it. So it's still there, but it's really just kind of become part of the background. And a really cool repeating pattern. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So some of it I like that it's kind of making brown clumps, but then I do like when there's a little bit of the lines in here too. You don't want to add too many crystals because you definitely don't want it to, unless you want it dark. You know, if you want it to be dark, then for sure. But I don't. There, that's enough. I'm going to let those sit how they are. Okay. I don't have any spray up there though. There we go. Okay. So I think I'm going to dry it in the interest of time. Normally when I'm doing this technique though, I just kind of let it sit and I put it aside and I move and I do something else because I don't want to mess with the crystal mojo, right? But we're going to dry it and we're going to be careful. It gives it just like an old antique-y wood kind of look. I don't know. It's just super fun and really, really cool. And that walnut crystal is such a deep, rich brown. It's so gorgeous. This is available on Imagine's website. I don't know where else to get it though. That's the only place I've seen it. So you can definitely head over to their website if you want to try this and get some for yourself. Look at that. I love how it looks like it's stained. Dang, that's amazing. So, so pretty. Oh, I just love this. And the way that the desert sand firework spray, it's got like a antique-y gold shimmer in it. So it just adds to the overall look here. When this is dry, I'm going to hold it up so you can see. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Sometimes it's hard to render things in the camera. But if you try it for yourself in person, you're definitely going to have your mouth, your jaws on the floor. Because it's super pretty. Okay, I think this is dry enough. Yeah, we're going to move on. But first I want to stand up again. I want to show you. Oh, yes, you can kind of see. Okay, see the shimmer? See that gold? Yeah, and see how it kind of gets in the cracks there and just settles? Oh, man, this is so pretty. This almost looks burnt. Look at that. I love this. I love how some of it's super light, some of it's super dark, and it just kind of flows. Man. Okay. I could do this technique all day long. So pretty. All right, so let's move on. Moving on. So now we have this awesome background, and I'm pleased with the coverage. If I wanted more, maybe I might add some more and spray it and do the whole thing again, but I'm pretty happy with the way things are right now. The next thing is, let's see, are we going to put something on here? Let me just think for 1 minute. I think I like the dots better than that a little bit, because then it's going to tie in with this too, right? So let's get some Versafine Clair. I'm going to get brown, I think. Ooh, wait, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we're going to do copper. Let's see what copper looks like. This is, okay, so this is Delicata. And it is, let's see. Okay. Celestial Copper, sorry. Okay, let's just give this a quick hit and see what we get. Oh, that's so not going to stick, is it? Yeah, this stamp is really old. And it's acrylic. Sometimes they don't want to stick as well after a while. It's not really a big deal because I generally just use these for distressy kind of backgrounds. So let's see. Oh yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, we'll try it. So yep, just gonna get a little bit. It's totally gonna be messy and just whatever, right? I'm just trying to create, you know, some more texture in the background. The more you have going on, actually, sometimes not, but sometimes yes, it's better. Okay, I think this is probably good. Yep, just add a few dots, and then that's going to help tie in the dye that we're using later on. So there we go. That's good enough, and it's subtle. I like that copper. It stays kind of in the metallic family, but also is subtle enough that it's not taking over anything. Okay, so I'm pleased with that. So let's move on. Now the next step, we're gonna need my cardboard for this. Actually, I need both. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna do this awesome bake texture from Seth Apter and Emerald Creek. Another product that you definitely need in your arsenal if you are a mixed media person at all, or if you like doing any of this kind of stuff. This this embossing powder is super fantastic. Okay, what am I looking for? Just a second. Yeah, Versamark, that's what I mean. Okay, apparently I can't talk and think at the same time. Okay, here we go. So this is a Versamark ink pad. I'm pretty sure that everybody's got one of these, or most people. And we're just gonna cover the whole surface. Okay, cover the whole surface with Versamark. And then we're gonna cover the whole surface with the vintage beeswax. I just pour it right on. And we're gonna do probably at least 2 layers of this. Probably 2. Yeah, 2 should be good. Especially it's just a tag, so it doesn't need a lot. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to order the big vat of it. Oh my gosh. I love this. I already love it. It's not even done yet. I just know what it's gonna look like. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm gonna keep that out. Actually, no, I'm gonna cover it because I like to spill things. So, okay, let's heat this up. Now, oops, wrong one. So I'm heating embossing powder, so I'm gonna use my Wagner. And it's a bit louder. Sorry about that, we'll be quick. Generally, if I'm gonna do more than 1 layer of embossing powder, I will heat the embossing powder on the surface, and then if it's not too big, then I'll keep it hot and then have this pot open and ready to go, and I'll take the gun away and just pour more on because it's still wet, so the new powder will stick to it. But when it's a bigger surface like this, it doesn't work as well, so I'll have to just go back over it with the Versamark and then put the next layer on. So it really just depends on how big of a surface you're working with and what you're comfortable with. Look at how shiny and pretty that is. Oh my gosh. This is gorgeous. You know, you could also, since this is already kind of distressed looking too, you could use just like an ultra thick embossing powder if you don't have this and you want to just try this technique right away. But I would still order this if I were you, just because it's pretty amazing. Okay, looking good. So again, we are gonna hit it one more time. I just want to make sure I got everything. Let's check it out really quick before we do the next layer. Okay, ooh, it's warm. But definitely look it brings out all of that shimmer and shine and beauty and imperfections and the layers. Sorry. Okay, we're gonna put it down, and then I'm gonna let it just cool for a second. And then we're gonna come back through with the Versamark pad one more time. Like I said, because it's a bigger surface. Otherwise, you could just keep it hot and put more powder on it. Okay, go over it one more time. Get it nice and thick. So if you're not going to do the step after this, you could just do 1 layer of this embossing powder, and it's gorgeous. You saw how gorgeous it is. But we are going to do something else over the top of it, and therefore you need to have a couple layers so it's thick enough to do what I want to do. So let me get out the thing that I need. 1 second. Oh, let's see. What am I going to do here? Just one moment. I'll be ready for you. Oh, that's nice. That's pretty big. Maybe I want this. I'm looking for a stamp right now that's going to work for the technique that I want to do. So I just need a minute to decide what that's going to be, because before we heat up, that's pretty cool, huh? Does that go with father? I don't know. I know that's really awesome though. All right, let's keep that out. That's a possibility. This is the fun part, you know, you get to find the stamp that you want to use and how you're going to finish it. Looking for my focal point right now. Okay. Just 1 second. There's so many great stamps here. I'm also thinking about, oh yeah, I know. The, since this says father on it, we want to keep it definitely masculine and sort of in that tone. So I was thinking of the Inventor collection by Tim Holtz. You know, the new set, different sets he came out with this last year. Those are pretty masculine. I gotta find them. 1 second. I have, where did it go? I have a couple of sets of those. One of them has like a globe on it, scissors, whatever. I don't think I can find it at the moment. That's a bummer. Okay, I'm hurrying up here. Trying to be quick. Maybe I'm going to use that face. I really like the face. Or, what about this? We could do the typewriter and then just say, it'll have father, father, father. You're amazing. You are loved. I don't know. I really just like this. So this stamp is from, let me show you. I got a mess here. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I really wanted that adventure stamp, but now I don't know where it is. So we're going to go with something else. This one is super fantastic. So here is, this is from Visible Image, and they have really super amazing stamps. I have quite a few of their sets, and I am more than pleased. This one is really cool too. Look at these. These are 2 different trees, and you can like do, you know, stamp off and do lighter and then darker, so you get the layered effect. These are awesome too. Really love these. Be true to your roots. Grow stronger. Stay grounded. That's a pretty good one. I don't know if it quite works with father though right now. I'm not feeling that for this one, but I really love that. Okay, so yeah, let's see how this looks on here. I think we can do that. What do you think? Father, and then, you know, you could put a sentiment here when you're ready to give it. Yeah, I don't know, for birthday or whatever the holiday is, or the reason that you're going to give it to him. So let's just do this one because I really like it, and I actually haven't gotten to use it yet. Okay, so the reason I'm picking my stamp now before I heat that layer of embossing powder is because we are going to heat the embossing powder, and while it's still wet, we're going to stamp that right in there. Okay, this is a super fun technique, really pretty easy to do, to be quite honest, but you do have to pay attention and be, I need like a shorter, wider one of these. This will do. Okay, and then you also need, I'm thinking I'm going to use Stays On for this. So you can use, I'm going to use black. I usually end up using black Stays On for this because this is pretty much monotone brown. Now you could do a dark brown and that would be really beautiful, but the black looks so nice against this brown, and it really helps it stand out really nicely. So that's what we're going to do. I wanted to do this. Maybe we should have done that before this. Now that I think about that, that's a bummer. Yeah. Why did I think I wanted to do it on top? Well, we might still be able to. Let's just wait and see. Okay, so here's what you do. If you're going to do this technique and you're going to heat embossing powder and then put a stamp in it, you either need to use a color of ink or Versamark. Okay, if you just want the pattern and you don't care about it really standing out or showing up, I have another card. It's not here at the moment, but I just wanted the pattern, and then I went over it with some spray later and let the colors run down in there, and that's super cool too. But if you just want the pattern and you don't want color, use Versamark. You have to use some kind of ink on your stamp so that it protects it and it helps release it from the embossing powder when you're done. Okay, so as long as you have that, you're good to go. So I've got black stays on here, and that's what I'm going to use. So I get my stamp ready. Okay, and I ink it up. It looks like I need more stays on. This poor ink pad. I think I've had this ink pad for like, gosh, maybe 15 years. And I just, look, Cassie Riggs, that isn't even my last name anymore. I've had this for a long time. But all you really need is re-inkers, and these ink pads will last forever as long as you take care of them. Okay, so then since this is stays on and it dries quickly, I'm going to leave it right here. And we're going to quickly heat up this embossing powder now. And then when you're ready to stamp, you just want to make sure that you go back over the area that you're going to stamp into. And then and get it nice and wet and able to hold an impression. And then you'll be good to go. So I'm kind of going around my area that I'm going to stamp into and getting, excuse me, getting all around, and then I'll go into that area, do it last, and then stamp. So you do need to use both hands. So I would say this is probably at least an intermediate level task, but when you're getting close, okay, so yep, just do this. Have my stamp ready to go. You still with me there? All right, we're getting really close now. Okay, so all my embossing powder is melted. It's good. I'm heating up the general area. Turn it off and dip and hold it. And don't move. Okay, press down, hold it down for maybe 5 or 10 seconds. Get a really good impression. Longer it doesn't hurt either. You know, if you're not sure, I mean, definitely you don't need more than, 10 or 15 seconds. Embossing powder dries pretty fast. And let's see what we get. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Oh, baby. Yeah, I needed more ink. Oh, that's crazy. Wow, that is crazy. That is like a, it definitely didn't take all my ink, did it? Some of my ink is dry though, because this is an old pad. I still think it's pretty cool. That's kind of crazy. Now, if you don't like it, well, it's black, so it's still going to be there. But if you did just the clear and you didn't like the impression, you could go over it or reheat it and it would just remelt and then you could redo it. But this has ink on it, so we can't do that. But what we can do real quick is maybe try to re-ink this. I don't know. I think I just need more ink, which is okay. I am not sad about this. But this is also a good lesson, sometimes things work out and sometimes they don't work out quite the way you planned. All right, my head's going to be in the shot for just a second. I'm going to try and line it up and see if we can do something here. Maybe, maybe not. It's okay. It's okay either way. I'm pressing down hard because it's embossing powder. Okay, well, nope. So we got what we got, and that is it. All right. So I'll clean that in a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do then is use this and do my my metallic stuff, and I'm just going to kind of do it like here a little bit and down here. Maybe I'm going to cover up some of this just to just to cover that up a little bit, and then I'm going to put a sentiment over the top of it. And maybe it's just like a, you know, like an ink splotch, you know, like those Rorschach test things. Maybe it's, you know, I can still see the hat and stuff in it, but maybe somebody that doesn't know what it is isn't going to know. It's just a cool distress pattern at this point, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so so if you forgot or don't remember, this is bronze, and it's Creative Medium in metallic from Imagine. Okay, why am I using a plastic one? I don't really even like plastic. Metal knives work better. They're more sturdy. Okay, so let's get some of this out. It's a little bit thicker than some of the other paste that you'll use. So you just want to know about that and be aware. But look at that color. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit up here. We want it to dry kind of quick, so I don't want to make it too thick or use too much, right? I don't want big circles there. Look at how pretty that is. Loving it. Okay, we're going to put a couple down here, and we're going to cover part of that body since it didn't get the coverage that I really wanted. It's all good. Nice. Oh yeah, that's nice. See if this is working out anyway. I really like this. Okay, then I just want a little tiny bit right here. Okay. Oops. Okay, let's do that. Okay, look at how pretty. And that is going to dry different than it looks right now. Look at the lid and look at it wet. It's like, it's totally different, right? It's a lot more metallic-y and goldy, kind of like a dirty gold when it dries. So we're going to let that dry for a second, and then I'll hit it with the gun. And we're almost done. We're going to put a sentiment over the top of this. Maybe I have lots of metal pieces. Maybe a metal piece would look nice on here too. What do you think? All right, almost there. Let me just rinse that real quick because I don't want the Creative Medium to get stuck in there. Real quick, let me grab a baby wipe. If you don't have baby wipes, I'm pretty sure everybody does at this point, but if you don't, man, it's a really good cheap investment, that's for sure. Baby wipes are my savior. And you can keep them, especially if you work with different pigments and colors, and they end up with a bunch of bright colors on them. Maremi Small Art, she did a video, oh, I don't know, maybe last year even. She took all her baby wipes that she'd used just for wiping things off, and she cut them up and made them into little rosettes. And they're completely gorgeous. So think about ways that you can recycle and use things over again. You save on garbage, and you know, you can make fun, interesting things out of it. Okay. What was I gonna get? I was getting something. What was it? Yes, a metal piece, right? A metal piece. Okay. And a sentiment, whatever we're gonna put over the top of this thing. Okay, real quick here, let's see. And then we'll go ahead and dry that, and then we'll be done. Oh, okay, I have these like coin things with words. These are all Tim Holtz kind of things. This does say father, so let's think about it like that. Okay, there's a journey. I don't know, something like that. Or maybe I could just do like one of these kind of things. I guess it doesn't, yeah, it does say father. Ooh, now he had a gear or something for his eye. I know we can't see it that well, but we could still put a gear there. That would be pretty cool, I think. Okay, there's lots of metal bits in here. See, I've got this little cup of stuff. Okay, I don't want that one. Trying to keep it masculine here and be quick about it. All right, just reading some of these. I lost some of it. Trying to find a good sentiment or word or something. Your greatest creation is always going to be your life story. Nice. Always be on the lookout for the presence of wonder. I like that. Excuse me. Creativity. That's not really a creativity thing. I mean, it's creative, but she. Okay, we don't want she. Here we go. Your past does not determine who you are. Your past prepares you for who you are about to become. Wow, these are really amazing. It's hard to pick. I think I want one of these, though. I think that seems like a good idea. Blessed are the curious, for they shall have adventures. What about that? Excuse me. I need a drink. Okay. I think, though, while I do really like these circles, I think I want like a long one. And we're going to keep it kind of simple and just wrap some twine around it and put one of these guys on here maybe and be done with it, because I think I'm going to like the way that looks better. Inspire, believe, yeah, no. Excuse me, goodness. All right, definitely going to use one of the long ones. Let me see if there are any more choices in here, though, for that. Or if that's what we have to choose from. Excuse me. Starting to get creativity. Yeah, I don't think that fits for that. Okay, I think we're going to be good here. And just pick from what we have. Last one, Wanderlust. No. Not for this. Not for this. Okay, yep, let's just do it. We are going to do it. We don't need that. Should I just do that one little thing on his eye? I think so. What about this? I really like this one. Yeah, let's do that one. That one is speaking to me. So we are going to use it. Let me get that flower, that metal piece that fell down. All right, we're almost done here. I'm going to get some brown or black. Probably brown, huh? Maybe this middle brown or this darker brown, maybe. Yeah. Ooh, no, I know. I have something else that is way better. Just a minute. I have it. Here, some jute twine, right? That's perfect. Yes, this is exactly what we needed. Okay. First, though, we've got to dry what's here. We've got to dry this so we're not messing this up more. Okay. Heat it with the gun real quick. And then we'll be done. So here, I'm glad this happened. Things don't always work out quite the way you want sometimes. It would be really cool to have that pattern on here, that shape. I could stamp it and put it over this, right? But I also really just like the shape and the fact that there's some black splotchy stuff there. I mean, I have some stamps that are just like, look like paint splotches, you know, but they're on purpose. So I'm pretty pleased with the way this turned out in the long run. I'm going to let this sit and dry the rest of the way because I don't want to heat up that embossing powder too much. And I think, ooh, actually, that's a great idea. I am going to heat up the embossing powder where I want this to go. I still think that would look cool just to be right there. See how it's moving now? I don't want it to move, but I definitely want to stick that down. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and that's not going anywhere now. That is there for good. I love how this is like a little bit messy. Yeah, this is super cool. Okay, so I want the words in this to stand out a little bit more than they are. So I'm going to grab a distressed crayon real quick. They're over here. Let's see, I'm just going to take this whole thing over with me. My throat is being weird again. I think I'm just talking too much. Okay, so I've got some neutral color distress crayons here. I'm really honestly just thinking like maybe this cream. Old paper or frayed burlap. I want the lightest color possible. Do I just want white? No, that's too stark. Yeah, let's go with this. Let's try it and see how it looks. Old paper. So we're just gonna color right over, get it in all the cracks there. And then, oops, and then wipe off the top. Let's see how that looks. Yep, I like it. Turned out. There. There it is. Okay. All right, so then we're going to take the jute twine. Where's the beginning now? Here we go. Excuse me. Okay. And get it started through here. Okay. And then what I really want to do is put this in a bit because I want to wrap this around a bunch of times and then have this just sit right on top. So, all right, I'm going to need some, excuse me, I'm going to need some glue dots here. Okay. This is how I stick things down when I'm going to wrap twine around or any kind of string really. So I put the glue dot on the back here. Excuse me. Okay. And then, oh, here am I in the camera still? Sorry about that. Okay, and then I stick it down. Move this guy out of the way. All right, and then I just wrap and wrap and wrap till I'm done. So I think for this, honestly, I'm just going to do 3 because it's a pretty small surface. And let's see, what do I want to do? Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then, excuse me. And then I'm going to stick that guy down. Okay, and then we're going to take this and bring it back. Am I still in camera? Yes, I'm always worried about that. Okay, then I'm gonna bring this back. Here we go. Decide where I want it. I think I like it slightly off center like that. Okay, and then stick it down in there. I'm probably gonna do another. I need better scissors. That's what I need. Okay. Yeah, just grab another dot here, put it right over the top so it's stuck to the paper. Yeah, that way they're not going anywhere. Okay, and then I'm going to put one, I should have put one before I stuck it down. I didn't think of it till just now, but I'm going to put one underneath. Okay, so try and keep it mostly intact. Put one underneath. Oh, come on, get over there. And then stick it down. So that guy stays in place too. Yep, looks good. Okay. I think if I was going to actually, so when I'm, actually let's just do it. Cover this because the back doesn't look pretty at all, right? So let's just cover it. Let's see how black, yeah, black for sure. That looks amazing. So I'm just going to stick it down with, I'm going to use, I'm going to use probably sticky strip. I think that will work best. Get this out of the way for a second. That bronze is dry enough that it's not really going to smush too much. And if it does, this is a total grunge piece anyway. So not really super worried about it. So I'm sticking this. This is called sticky strip, or probably has other names too. It's just a really strong double-sided adhesive. Okay, I keep cutting it a little bit too big. I don't want to get it in the hole there. Ooh, I should put some jute in that hole and make a let's do a little piece for the end here. So this is it. This is my project. I'm just going to mat it on this black cardstock so I can cover up the back of this because it's such a mess. And it'll frame it nicely too, I think. I don't usually mat, well, I made that too big. I don't usually mat tags like this, but it's actually not a bad idea. I might start doing it more. Okay, now I got to get the sticky strip off. That's the fun part. It's a little bit harder than some of the other adhesives to separate from the from the backing, but it is really strong, so it is necessary from time to time. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is just stick it to the black and then cut around the black instead of cutting it first and measuring and all that. Yeah, it doesn't need to be super precise, in my opinion. So here we are almost done. What do you think of this project? Have you ever tried to do something and had it sort of maybe not work out the way you planned, but still like it in the end? Or did you not like it in the end? What was your outcome when that happened? Curious to know what has happened for other people. All right, I'm gonna just give it a nice thin little border. Okay. Yeah, look at that's dry enough that I can touch it and it's not really coming off on my fingers or anything. Oh, that's pretty. I really like this. Okay. Been pretty happy with the way that these projects have been going, especially for having zero idea going into it. And I think I am gonna cut that little hole out and put some jute twine in the top there just to make it officially a tag. Okay, I'll just use this guy. Ah, that red stuff really likes to stick to you. All right, so we're just gonna put some jute in the top here and then we'll be done. I'd really like to hear your thoughts about this project. And like I said, you know, if you've ever done something like this that you were working toward one goal and then maybe it just didn't work out the way you planned, or something else happened that was unexpected, and you know, did you like it? Did you not like it? Curious to know your thoughts on that. All right. Nice and simple. Masculine for sure. Rugged, distressed. All from the word father. What do you think about that? Let's see if we can find the word father once I get this on here. There we go. All right. Here's my final project. There's father. Let's see. There he is. So we made this all from this little guy right here. This was our inspiration. I think that's pretty cool. I really like this tag. I probably wouldn't have made it otherwise or had this idea. So yeah, I'm really pleased. All right, well, everybody, have a great night. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and let me know what you think of this project, and tell me your thoughts on things and maybe other things you'd like me to cover in the future, and I'd love to do it. So have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow when we do day 4. Bye.